Hello. Let me give you my warnings first. Like there's construction noise on in the background because there's construction work tearing apart the street in front of my apartment. So maybe that would be the bass background. Bang, bang. I don't know if it's loud enough for you to hear it, but I certainly hear it. It's like causes minor earthquakes around here. That these people who work for this construction company are tearing the fuck out of my street. So even there's bang, bang, bang in the background, I could speak about that. And my next warning is if smoking of tobacco cigarettes offends you, do not watch the video. If cussing, like cuss words like FUCK and SHIT and fucking bullshit this and bullshit that, then click off and move on. If you're a religious guy or gal, I got a live chat going on here. A lot of times the live chat, there'll be someone who goes in there and says, I'm very offended and I'm a Christian. I don't like how you're making fun of my beliefs. If you're that person, click it off, move on to something else. If my speech ever becomes violent, it's only because I'm using a Bible. Now, about this. Back when I first started making videos, like about 4 years ago, I, as an atheist, reading out of a religious book, some people may misconstrue and misunderstand what I'm doing. Because when I first started out as a atheist, anti-theist Bible reader video kind of fucking shit, that I made atheist friends and joined Facebook atheist groups. And I'd share my stuff in there about how I'm spouting out cruelties and violences and the contradictions and the injustices and the evil, despicable shit of the Bible as an atheist. And then I'm posting it to your atheist group. But you see an atheist reading out of the Bible, hey, this guy's a whacked out Christian or something. Let's get rid of this whacked out Christian who went to troll into my group. When I'm actually an extreme atheist, anti-theist. So I invented my own intro to every video to point out my stance that I do not endorse this book or advocate the use of the words of this book. I'm an atheist. I use this book as a weapon against itself. It's all evil. It's all lies. I'm capital N-O-T. I am not a pastor. I am an activist against this evil, despicable book. Sounds like some kind of religious chant. Hey, Mo, you're religious, aren't you? You're just a preacher. You're just a preacher of no gods. I understand your atheist stance, Mo, but you're the preacher of the anti-Bible and you're the preacher of no gods. You only want to twist and distort it. You want to make it look bad. Well, what are you doing? You got a little lovely cherry picker right here that I pinpointed one verse out of the center of the book. So go through the intro again. I do not endorse this book, meaning that the things I read out of this, I'm not going to say to do in real life, reality. Whatever I read out of this, do not reenact in our society. Okay, I do not endorse this book or advocate the use of the words in this book. There's a lot of evil shit in here about murder, kill, rape, infanticide, slavery, mass indoctrination, harmful, delusional shit in here that I do not endorse this book or advocate the use of the words of this book. And I have to announce that I'm an atheist because I've actually had atheists confuse me as being a Christian, and Christians actually thinking I'm really a Christian pastor. If you're a Christian viewer, I suggest this is the video for you. But not to blow up my chat reply. Do not do question and answers. What I encounter most about Christian viewers, I'll invite you on. I might do a little for you. But in my chat reply, I'd rather overlook that and go through my video material. So I'm working unscripted, no notes, all at the top of my mind to you. If you want to ask questions, you go after the live chat onto the comments below. Anyone who dislikes me, go ahead and dislike it and go to the comments below. Anyone who likes and subscribes, you could go to the comments below. But I've noticed that many commenters were somewhat of a spam or fake account or no account or whatever. I'll determine who I keep, and I'll block and delete anyone who disrupts my progress. I do not endorse this book or advocate the use of words of this book. I'm an atheist. I use this book as a weapon against. Oh yeah, now we got onto I use this book as a weapon against itself, meaning that there's tens of thousands of contradictions, thousands of inconsistencies, hundreds upon hundreds to the thousands of cruelties and violences, injustices, and flat out absurdities. Did you know that 200 verses deal with a flat earth? Did you know that 50 verses deal with, oh, I'm not thinking with my brain, you think with your heart. 50 verses say you think with your heart. It's no fucking thing like, it's a mind-controlled zombie kind of thing. Let's go on to some Bible reading fucking shit. It's a brainless, mindless zombie. You know what a brainless zombie? What Bible reference am I going to go to? You're a brainless, mindless robot controlled by this. It's a fucking imaginary thing. It's just fucking letters inside of a stack of papers. It's only letters within stacks of papers. It doesn't mean nothing. Okay. But if you want to reenact what a Christian thinks is a perfect will, God, you think this identifies as God. So we're going to go with that. Proverbs 16, 1 through wherever I get to. The preparations of the heart and man. That's a heart reference, which means you're not using your brain. Okay. Someday I'll do that 50 verses in a video. But the heart. There's 50 references in the Bible where it says, well, I thought in my heart. How many say anything about a brain? Which is the true reality of our scientific makeup, that all thought occurs here. You just get some kind of warm, fuzzy kind of fucking thing right here. Doesn't mean much because your thought's supposed to be here. But then you're a Christian believer. There's 50 references to, I felt it in my heart. I felt it in my heart. So I got sidetracked into a monologue off to the side. We're going to go with the very first part, but I should start over. The preparations of the heart and man and the answers of the tongue.
The answers of the tongue. And preparations of the heart and the answers of the tongue.
The preparations of the heart and the answers of the tongue. What? Is from the Lord.
It does not belong to you. It belongs to the Lord. This belongs to the Lord.
He says that the tongue belongs to him and the heart belongs to him. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes. I think that's a good investment. I think that's a virtue. That can be prosperous. I think I'll do this, and I'll think I'll do that. I'll think I'll do that. And that might be a good investment, you know. No, he says in 16:2 of Proverbs, all the ways of man are clean in his own eyes. I think that's good. No, it isn't, but the Lord waiteth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord. Commit thy works unto the Lord. I hand my brain over to you. Commit thy works unto the Lord. What if the Lord was this wall? I'm going to commit my way to the works of the Lord. And that's it. Final. Commit thy works to the Lord. That means I ain't my fucking self. I just give you 100% to you, which is a imaginary fucking creature. Like, I'm going to worship and idolize this wall. Like, what the fuck? No, commit thy works to the Lord. Doesn't mean shit to me as an atheist, but I used to be a Christian. I used to really believe this stuff. And I really believed that I was some special kind of magic Casper ghost that was some kind of spiritual kind of fucking thing. That there really was a God and he really did talk to me and I talked to him and all kinds of dumb fuck shit like that. I used to be a Christian, folks. "20 years ago, I dumped atheism. I dumped Christianity and went to... Let me explain that. I had a slip up error there. I was a devout Christian until I was 33, and then by 33, I must have read the Bible 6 times over. No, actually, I'd say that I read the Bible 6 times over, but like 3 times a Christian and 3 times an atheist. I wanted to really know what I did not believe in anymore. I always wanted to know, well, why didn't I believe in it? Why didn't I believe in it? And you could always go back to the book and say, oh, this is why I didn't believe in it. I had some errors in speech because I'm doing these videos tired. Shit. 16:3 of all of them so far is you got to commit thy works to the Lord. Means give up your whole self and give it to the Lord. Thy thoughts shall be established. You're thinking about that good investment, that prospect, that establishment. Hey, here's my family. And no, I said you commit thy works to the Lord. You might as well drain yourself 100%. Commit thy works unto the Lord. And even your thoughts, you empty out your thoughts. Even your thoughts. I want all your thoughts too. I want all yourself, and I want all your thoughts, or else. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself. The Lord has made all things for himself. Now, cut that. I got that off my chest. Now we're going to go to the deconversion story of part 8. What's Mo's, Mo used to be a Christian 20 years ago until he really started studying up on this shit. When you go to the very main question of all ever, I even shout this out to Christians. Say, I want proof. I want the answers in Genesis. What's the answers in Genesis? As I mentioned in many previous videos, because I'm on to part 8. That I want the answers in Genesis. I want the answer to Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God. God? In the beginning, God. Genesis 1:1. You know what? If the Bible is only written by man, how come man appears at the end of chapter 1? Who's writing Genesis 1:1? Who's taking account of that? Because it says, in the beginning. Who the fuck knows what in the beginning means? Except for the one fucking writing this before man was even created. How could someone write something that was supposed to happen before the man was created? Genesis 1:1. In the beginning. It's as if this fucking God was saying, in the beginning, it was me. He doesn't waste time to ever even... He wants to announce this is a signature fucking book. Because the 4th word of the verse says God. How the fuck does any reader supposed to know what that first verse means? Who the fuck knows what a God is? Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, it was God. I don't know what the fuck God is. Tell me. Maybe back when this was really written as word of mouth and it said, G-O-D, God. Hey, you better believe it or else. Oh, this God you talk about. Dumb fuck swirly shit. So anyways, if you're a Christian viewer, prove 1:1 of Genesis to me. Then I'll take an intermission break. Prove Genesis 1:1. I gotta write it out on the chat reply, which no one's even written in. Got one viewer, I suppose. Okay. Take an intermission, short intermission. Short intermission break. What's another part of my deconversion story? Can you guess? Because if anyone viewed through the 7 parts, which I titled this video an 8-part, and I'm going through the same material again and again and again and again and again and again. The big major thing major flaw in your Bible is, okay, you still didn't prove Genesis 1:1 to me, but you believe the rest of the book, don't you? Don't you believe in the rest of the book? Let's go to the last verse of Genesis 1. Genesis 1:31. And God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning, it was the sixth day. I saw that it was all good. It was the sixth day. But I had a major contradiction video about that earlier in my video series. Okay. Behold, he saw everything that was good. It's the sixth day. This is the eighth video. I saw that it was all good. All 6 days done. Bam, boom. Everything's perfect, flawless. 6 days. Genesis 2:1 and 2. I'm gonna take a nap and rest up because 6 days of work. Woo! When there's a verse in Wisdom 9:1 that said something about the breath created everything. And I'm not going to get into a multiple series here because I got to say that I made a contradiction video about that too. Genesis 1:31, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. The evening and the morning was the sixth day. Genesis 2:1 and 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. Whew, it was all super, very tiring and exhausting, working all the magical bing bing powers. No. There's still outside noises if you ever hear them. There's construction equipment, and there's people cutting their grass and shit. All kinds of bing bang boom in the back. So we got an instrumental, we got bass going on, and guitar. You got the boom 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 and the row 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 of the lawnmower, and the bang 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 of the construction. Oh, we got kids screaming in the background too. Everything's going to fuck over here in the neighborhood. I'm doing this like at noon time, so everything's active outside. Genesis 1:31 says, 6 days it was all good, perfect. I'm done. Genesis chapter 2:1 and 2 says, well, I completed it. I'm resting on the seventh day. It's all good, all perfect, all swell. Why couldn't you have just ended the book right there? You could have ended the book right at Genesis 2:2. Because by the seventh day I rested, it was all good. And 1:31 he says, it really was good in 6 days. And Genesis 2:1 and 2, it says 7 days. It was all good and perfect. I can end the book and no one has to write it anymore because it's all good and perfect and swell. And it's so perfect, good and swell that I decided to rest a complete day and do nothing but rest. Because the 6 days was very hard when there's memes by Mo, video by Mo, who makes videos about how he instantly created it. Like there's Wisdom 9 and Hebrews 12, and some other shit that I did in the contradiction video and some past series. So Genesis 1:1, Christian. The fourth word of your Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning. God, all of a sudden, G-O-D. Who the fuck knows what that means? Well, man wasn't even created till the end of Genesis chapter 1. So, who was writing Genesis 1:1? Some kind of special fairy? Some kind of floating angel that says, you, pow, pow, bang, boom. There's a G-O-D. It's a God. The special fairy. If you wish upon a star, where you go, bang, boom, God. Genesis 1:1. What about that? How can you explain Genesis 1:1? And then Genesis 1:31 sounds perfectly swell. Like, I can end the book now because 6 days is perfect and swell and all good. It's so all good that I rested and laid around for another day. Genesis 2:1 and 2. It was all good, perfect, and swell until didn't Memes by Mo Video Mode tell you that you could have stopped your writings right at Genesis 2:2 because I cannot wait to fucking kill. You know what I mean? Because even though it's all good and swell and perfect, that Genesis 6:5-7. And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth. Well, I said it was all good in 1:31, and then I rested on my ass for 2:1 and 2. And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, that every imaginations of thought of his heart was only evil continually. There you go with the heart reference again. I don't think with my brain, I think with my heart. Every imaginations of thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. No heart reference. And the Lord said, I will destroy man. Didn't he say it's all good? Perfect and swell. All perfect. My 6 days of work in 1:31 says it's all good. It's so all good that Genesis 2:1 and 2, he says, I'm take a nap. It's all good. That 6 days exhausted me. I'm making a perfect creation. But it's not so perfect because all your imaginations are evil and wicked continually. And it repenteth the Lord that he had made man on the earth. It's all perfect and swell, but hey, I'm sorry that I ever made you, evil, wicked people. It grieved him at his heart that he made man on earth. The Lord said, I will destroy man whom I created from the face of the earth. Face of the earth. There's 50 verses flat earth video on that. Face of the earth. I will destroy man whom I created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping things, the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I made any of you at all. But what happens in 6:8? 6:8 says, but Noah. I got a little jack-off buddy named Noah. No, his name was Noah. I got a jack-off buddy who's really fond of me. He's kissing my ass. This Noah guy, what's so special about Noah guy? Why did he find favor over everyone else? Did he give him a special magic kiss? To this guy who touched the head of his dick or something. What's so special about Noah? Ass kisser Noah gets to live with his 8 family members, which incest you relate. Created mankind all over again, huh? Created second time over by incest stuff. Lovely, lovely story. But 6:5 through 6. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of his thoughts of his heart was only evil continually, and it repenteth the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I created from the face of the earth. But you know what? It's all good and perfect. It used to be all good and perfect back in chapter 1, verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made. Behold, it was very good. The evening and the morning, it was the 6th day. But I cannot wait for Genesis 6, where I could do some killing of everybody. It's all good. It's all perfect and swell. But hey, writer of the book, go to 6 and write about kill. Can you write about killing? I said 131, it was all good and perfect and swell. And then 1 and 2, I arrested for a nap. But by 6:05, I was fucking pissed. It's all perfect and swell and good, 131. So I took a nap in 2 and 1 and 2. Genesis 7, verse 21. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl. All flesh died. All flesh died. All flesh died that moved upon the earth. Everything. Both of fowl and of cattle and of beasts and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And every man. I say fuck you to everybody except for my little special Noah jack off buddy who's got a family of 8 who's going to incestually create more of mankind. Starting off at 6:8 of Genesis. There's the answer in Genesis. Answer in Genesis is incest. Hey, even the fucking hybrid kind of fucking creatures about all the animals that were brothers and sisters. Yeah, all the brothers and sisters animals are going to create another species of animals and another species of animals. And all of a sudden they pop up onto dry land after it's all been submerged for a year. All of a sudden it's magically dry and they can go about repopulating shit. Why wasn't there piles of dead bodies everywhere? There could have been millions of corpses all upon this layer. If your Noah flood thing is true, there's millions of human corpses and millions of animal corpses. There could have been so many corpses that it could have covered all square inches of the planet. And where's the archaeological evidence that everything died at once? If everything died at once, there would be a giant stream of fossil layer right there. And all of a sudden they pop out on dry land. And then we only have 8 people on the planet. Hey, brothers and sisters. Brothers, sisters, go at it. Incest. Hey, that's what you say to the brother and sister animals to go produce some genetically mutated, retarded animals. But you know what about Genesis 1? Verse 1. In the beginning, fourth word, God created the heavens and the earth. Where's the Christian responder? That Genesis 1:1, prove it. Genesis 1:31 says, and God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And 2 and 1, 1 and 2. Genesis 2:1 and 2. Seventh day I saw it was all good. I can take a nap. I can't wait to write down about Genesis 6:5, 6 and 7. Then we went to Genesis 7:21. It says, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth. But I saw that it's all good in Genesis 1:31. Genesis 1:1 says, I create the heavens and the earth. But then I got pissed about how I created everything perfect, but everyone decided to be wicked and evil, even though I couldn't control that. I couldn't control all the evil and wickedness there. I couldn't control people at that time. So you know what I did? I just want to kill everybody and start over with my whack-off buddy Noah and his incest family and all the incest animal brothers and sisters to fuck too. So why did I decide to become an atheist? Why did I decide to become an atheist? Because he said there's no proof for Genesis 1:1. And he said it was all good in 1:31. And he says it's so good that I'm going to take a nap in Genesis 2:1 and 2. And then by 6:5, 6:6, and 6:7, I'm going to kill everyone. But by 6:8, he's got a special jack-off buddy named Noah who kisses his ass and sucks his dick. Noah. What's so special about Noah? What kind of favor did Noah do? Huh? Why was there favoritism of Noah and his 8 family members who insistently repopulated the earth, along with all the genetically mutated animals that are brothers and sisters, siblings, fucking? On to another part. Genesis 8, verse 21. And the Lord smelled the sweet Savior. And the Lord said in his heart, another heart reference, I will not again curse the ground forever. For man's sake. For the imagination of the man's heart is evil and wicked all the time, but I can't control that. But I'm going to make a false, fake promise that I'm never going to curse the ground ever, 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 ever. I'm going to have to get this out of the way because I participated in a live chat where I was trying to quote Zephaniah. I didn't have a book handy. I was just going to the keyboard and typing up shit. Zephaniah may be a hard book to find because it's short. Only has 3 little chapters to it. It's later in the Old Testament. It's before Zechariah and... Is it before Zechariah? Is it before Haggai? Wait a minute. Yeah. It's before Haggai and Zechariah, and it's after the Habakkuk and whatever kind of other fucking shit like Micah was in. He's somewhere over there. Zephaniah chapter 1, 1 through 3. 1 to 3. Zephaniah chapter 1, 1 to 3. The word of the Lord which came unto Zephaniah, son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah. I'm not pronouncing any of those words right. We're going to skip over this shit. Son of Hezekiah in the days of Josiah, son of Amon, king of Judah. I totally screwed that up. I can't pronounce those words because, there's all good, perfect, and swell. Back in Genesis 1:1, when I said I created everything. Genesis 1:31, I said, it's all good, perfect, and swell. So good that the seventh day on chapter 2, 1 and 2 says, I rested from all my work of 6 days. Even though atheist means memo has contradiction video on that too. But by Genesis, you could have ended the book right there because it's all perfect and swell. Seventh day is so good, perfect, and swell that you later on it says it's all good. But Genesis 6:5, 6, 7 says, I got all pissed because you're all wicked and evil. But my creation was supposed to be perfect. Zephaniah chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. I will utterly consume all things off the land, saith the Lord. I'll consume man and beast, and I'll consume the fowls of heaven and the fishes of the sea, and the stumbling blocks with the wicked, and I'll cut off man from the land, saith the Lord. But no, it can't be that way, Mo, because of damn. It can't be that way, Mo, because damn. Genesis 1, verse 31. And God saw that everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. The evening and the morning was the sixth day. And it's so good by Genesis chapter 2, 1 and 2. I rested the seventh day because it was all good. But by Genesis 6:5, 6 and 7, and Genesis 7:21, I killed everyone. Except for Genesis 6:8, where he spares Jack off Noah and his incest family of 8. Ponder on that. I've been working hard at this video. I've been making many multiple hours of videos over and over again. So I deserve a little intermission break. I got the Jeopardy music on, let's ask another question to a Christian. That Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, poof, magic, God. What happened before the Genesis 1:1? What happened before that? Tell me. How can you prove Genesis 1:1? Enough of the damn fucking Jeopardy music. A short intermission break. So, Genesis chapter 1. Damn, not there yet. I had to cut out all these additional pages. A big giant long index. Genesis 1, verse 31. And God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. It was the evening, it was the morning, it was the sixth day. It's all good, perfect, flawless. Bam, done. 6 days. Perfect. Creation. Like talking to a wall. Genesis chapter 2, 1 and 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work that he had made and rested on the seventh day. It was all good and perfect. It's all good and perfect. It's all good and perfect. What's right? It's all good and perfect. It's all good and perfect. Not there yet. Oh no. I'm usually using my giant book that I memorized, and I'm using a smaller book now. Ugh. Maybe we should be playing the Jeopardy music about me not finding. Now I remember what it was. Hosea. 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 4 verse. Yeah. Hosea chapter 4 verses 11 through 12. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away thy heart. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err. E-R-R. The spirit of whoredom has caused them to err. What happens to err? You know, I saw that it was all good in Genesis 1:31. What happens to err? Genesis 38, verse 7 through 10. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. 38:7 says, Judah's firstborn. That little brat kid is wicked. That means when he's firstborn, right? He's firstborn. You're wicked and evil on the sight of the Lord. So what did he do? He slew him. Genesis 38, verse 7. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go into thy brother's wife and marry her. This is some kind of dead brother, which means that okay, they're in-laws, kind of. Thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed for your brother. And that means I want you to go down on her. Do it. and poop, poop, poop. Okay. And Onan knew the seed would not be his. Means he didn't want the fucking child. And so it came to pass that he pulled it out and he jacked off in the ground instead. So he did the withdrawal method, like, hey, I want you to go down on remember your dead brother while you had a wife? Was it sister-in-law? Supposed to marry her and then go blop, 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 bang, 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 bang. And I want you to plop, splooge inside of her and create something. And instead, I'm going to pull out. Bup, 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 bup. Hey, I didn't like what you did there. And Onan knew the seed should not be his, and it came to pass that he went in onto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground instead. So he should not give seed to his dead brother's wife. And that which thing that he did displeased the Lord, so the Lord slew him also. There's a dead infant a few verses earlier that, hey, once you're born, you're too fucking evil, and I'm going to kill you. And then, hey, you're supposed to go down on your dead brother's wife. The dead brother, he had a wife, and I want you to go down and fuck her and produce some seed. But, hey, I didn't want to do that, so I pulled out and I spilled it on the ground instead. But I saw it was all perfect and good earlier in 131. It's so good and perfect that Genesis 2, 1 and 2, that I took a nap. But 38, 7 through 10 is, I kill you for being wicked, and I kill you for the withdrawal method where you blop, blop, blop. But I saw it was all good and perfect and swell. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, the fourth word of the verse, God. Who the fuck's this God? Who the fuck's writing this? Who the fuck wrote Genesis 1:1 when there's no man till the end of 1 or somewhere in 2? Who wrote all of Genesis 1? There was no man to write it, was there? But all of a sudden, I got this magical words on print that say I'm for real. That's not good enough. I want total proof. I want to see it. I never got a chat reply, so I'd rather Christians question after the live chat and go to the comments below. You could do that. I saw it was all good. Saw it was all good. I saw that it was all good. Nahum, 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 chapter 3, verse 10. Yet she was carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed into pieces at the top of all the streets. It was all good and all perfect and swell. Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be a trumpet blown in the city? Okay. a trumpet blown in the city and the people not be afraid. If there be an evil in the city, the Lord had done it. I'm doing that shit because it's still. Now I finally found it. Because I was struggling through this because it's a different book than I usually use. I use a giant book usually. My people asked counsel at their stocks, and their staff declared unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err. The spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err. Genesis 38, verse 7. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. That little baby infant right there, pow, wicked in the sight of the Lord. You know what I did? I slew him. But I saw that it was all good. But there's a spirit of whoredom that caused them to err. Hosea 4:12. Genesis 38:7. Genesis 38:8. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife. There's a dead brother. That's his wife. And marry her and raise up seed for your brother. That means you want to go plop, 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 bang, bang, bang. And Onan knew that the seed would not be his. So he tried the withdrawal method. Take it out before you come, but come on the ground instead. But it's all good and perfect and swell. It was so good at 131 that I could have ended the book right there because 6 days was perfect. And it's so perfect that Genesis 2:1 and 2 says, I took a nap for a whole day because 6 days was perfect. 7th day was perfect. I could have ended the writing of this book and it'd be case closed that everything's all good and all perfect as well. But it's not, because I had to go into Genesis 5, 6, and 7. And Genesis 7:21. That he killed everybody except for Genesis 6:8, where he saves a little jack-off buddy named Noah and 8 family members and some really whacked out brother and sister animals, and they all incessantly repopulate the earth. But why are you atheist, Mo? Why are you an atheist, Mo? Because woo! Didn't this book screw with your head? It's like it's all good and it's all perfect, but no, it's evil, wicked, and end this video. Dump your religion.